Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel and to the Ultimate Racing League, and this is our Wednesday evening challenge in the BMW M3. This is our third and final race. We are in a little town called Dix, just outside of New York, and we're at the Watkins Glen International Circuit. 11 turns, 3.4 miles of tarmac, and it's a sprint race, so there are no stops. The only rule is that you have to use medium tyres at least once, and that's about it. You can use softs for the rest of the race. You can use wets if you like. Well, that won't help you much on a dry track, but they're the rules. They're the only rules, pretty much. The other rule is get round as fast as you can, and that's exactly what the guys have been doing. This is race 3. Now it's a reverse grid, which makes it just that little bit more interesting, especially for the guys who've won or came in the top sort of split in race 2, because it means they've all got to start at the back. So we're going to have a rundown of the grid, and let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a change of view so we can see who's where then. So D-Rock, one of the American drivers, he's on pole position now with Hawkeye just behind, and Hawkeye has finally decided to put some soft tyres on, thank God. He's unfortunately, I think he ran mediums in the first 2 races, which may have hindered him, but we've got some soft tyres on now, so good for him. Stealth is in 3rd, Volcanic Ash is 4th, Brownie is 5th, Love Rocket Rods is 6th, Unforgiven 7th, Brian Moncani is 8th, Scooby is 9th, Dirk 10th, Method 11th. He had a fantastic race too, did Method. Fitzy is 12th, Neil Farmack 13th, 14th is Osman, and 15th on the grid. Winner of the 2 previous races is Wadru. Now the interesting thing is Wadru, Osman and Neil Farmack are all on the medium tyres, where Fitzy has decided to... He ran the mediums in race 2 so he could run the softs for this race in race 3. So he's going to be looking at trying to get through this pack very, very quickly and hopefully get a win out of it. We shall see. We've got 3 lights on. Let's get this race underway, shall we? Let's wait for those lights to go out, and away we go. Great start from D-Rock actually, and Volcanic Ash, he got away very quickly. I think it caught him out a little bit because he slammed into the barrier. Bit of jostling going on. Dirk is getting pushed onto the inside. Not a bad place to be. You don't want to be on the outside, as they're all fighting for position. D-Rock's still out there in front. He's coming under attack from Stealth though as they go through turns 2 and 3. Up through turn 4 and onto the back straight already, and the race is on now down towards that chicane where we really don't want to be going in 2 abreast. As you can see, Unforgiven and Hawkeye. Unforgiven has got a fantastic start, and they all decided to go in there too, maybe even 3 abreast. Oh, and it's all getting a bit messy as Hawkeye gets a bit of a nudge there. Oh, and who was that? That's Unforgiven has spun out. Hawkeye's decided to reverse around the track. And yes, we will definitely go back and have a look at that. So we are on board with Hawkeye. He's side by side with Unforgiven. It all gets a little bit touchy-feely. Unforgiven goes out. Oh, and Volcanic Ash comes from nowhere as well. He fancies a bit of this. And, well, everybody's off. It's just chaos. Cars all over the place. That surely is going to be a safety car. Unforgiven down in 14th. Volcanic Ash, well, where did he come from? Wow. Let's just have a look. I love watching these things because, well, he got a bit of a touch from Love Rocket Rods. He went across the grass and came back on to hit Unforgiven. Unforgiven had already hit Hawkeye. I think the only person that didn't hit anybody was Stealth. So, not the start, not the start that we wanted to this race. So, surely it's got to be a safety car. Or are the guys slowed down? Yeah, they have. It is a safety car. Well, that's a tough one for the stewards to work out. Who actually caused that? I can imagine they're going to be sitting and studying that one and looking from about the dash cams of about 5 or 6 different cars there. But let them sort that one out. That's not for me to call. I just like watching the crashes. So Stealth just leading the guys up. We're up through the boot, up towards turn 8. Now we'll probably wait until we get through and onto the home straight now. unless Stealth decides to call it early. So the guys should all be lining up about a car length between them all, although nobody actually obeys that rule. They all like to go side by side and get right up the exhaust pipe of each other, but you can see them all weaving about trying to get a bit of heat into the tyres. Stealth doing a Kimi Räikkönen there, couldn't really care less. He's just going to drive in a straight line and let everybody else warm their tyres up. So I think it's around turn 11. As soon as the last person goes around turn 11, it'll be go, and they will head off down towards turn 1. Well, it looks like they've gone already as Stealth puts his foot down. Brian Moncani is already making a move on D-Rock and fancies his chances at P2 as he gets on the inside into turn 1 as they are side by side. Around there safely, Love Rocket Roger also fancies a bit of this as well and tucks in right underneath Brian Moncani's rear wing as they go through turns 2 and 3. Now let's just make sure everybody gets through and we've got no casualties again. Wadru with a half-second penalty, that's not what he needed. So into the chicane we go again. This is where it all kicked off before, and they're still going in 2 and 3 wide. And there are cars all over the place again. This is absolute bonkers. You'd have thought they'd have learnt your lesson, wouldn't you? Fitzy finds himself up in 4th. He's loving this, all this chaos that's happening in front of him, and that's allowed him to get through and into 4th, and he's on those soft tyres. And we're only on lap 2. So Fitzy, well, I really fancy him for a win in this one. Stealth in P1 at the minute though. He's going to do everything he can to stay there. He's got Brian Moncani chasing him down and Love Rocket Rod in 3rd. Let's jump on board with Love Rocket Rod, shall we? I hope there's nothing in here that we don't want to be looking at. Let's have a look on the seat. No, I can't see anything. So he's chasing Brian Moncani down, and if we look in the mirror you can see Fitzy having a look at the inside of Love Rocket Rods as they go through turn 9 up towards turn 10. Fitzy all over Love Rocket all over the back of Brian Moncani. Love Rocket trying to defend, so I think Fitzy doing the right thing. He's just backing off a little bit, let Love Rocket and Brian Moncani have a fight, and then he can just sneak through as Love Rocket goes on the inside now of Brian Moncani. You can see Fitzy there, he's not quite sure who's going to pull who. Oh, and Fitzy makes a late dash through the inside. Oh, and that went completely wrong. And yeah, absolutely we are going to look at that again. Now I said that I thought Fitzy was being sensible. He just backed off a little bit as they went into turn 11 to let the guys have their little battle. But I think he got caught in the slipstream. Didn't want to back off at turn 1, went for the late move up the inside and just completely missed his braking point. Poor old Stealthy's sitting there thinking, what the for Jesus has happened there? And he's gone off, Fitzy's gone off. So Fitzy has gone from 4th down to 9th all in one turn. And let's just have a look and see what's happened there. The result of that little coming together has put Love Rocket Rods out there in P1. Brian Moncani just sitting behind him in P2. Scooby in 3. Method 4. Method seems to have really got it together now in the last race, and this one finds himself up in 4th on the medium tyres. Osman now in 5th. Neil Formack 6th. Stealth, oh poor old Stealth down in 7th. He was leading this race. And I can imagine there's a few, well, I don't know how to describe it, but you can imagine he's saying a few words in the cockpit of that BMW. Unforgiven is 8th, Fitzy down in 9th. I really had Fitzy down for the win in this one. Dirk is 10th, Wadru 11th. Doesn't really seem to be getting through the pack as quickly as I thought he would, but then again there have been a lot of incidents. Browning's 12th, Hawkeye 13th, D-Rock 14th, and Volcanic Ash is 15th. It's just not been his track, has it, tonight? But I'm sure Volcanic is going to make up for it in future races. The back end of that BM really does moan and groan as he exits these turns. I think I've said it before, maybe a bit of traction control might just help steady things. I'm no expert, so Don't take my advice, but it might just help. So back up to the top then. And somebody who has got the TC on, he's got rocket rods, and it shows, because he's leading this race. Brian Moncani is sitting there in second just behind him on the medium tyres, so he's having a great race, is Brian. You don't want to be getting on the dirt there though, not just before you get into the chicane. Fantastic looking livery on that car. I think I mentioned at the start of race one, I fancied doing something like that myself, but well, now he's done it. It's kind of spoilt it, hasn't it? Scooby, he's up into third. With all the chaos that's been happening, there's been a right mix-up of the grid, isn't there? Osman in fourth. We are just approaching halfway through this race, so another 7.5 minutes to go. So Osman will be looking to get onto the podium. So will Neil Farmack. They're on the mediums. Method also on the mediums. In six, he's got Fitzy. Now let's jump on board with Fitzy, shall we? As he tries to make his way back through the pack. With all the chaos at the beginning of the race, he found himself in fourth, and I really fancied him for the win. And he just got turn one wrong, and a late break didn't pay off for him, and he ended up down in ninth. He's made his way back up into seventh, but you can see he's itching to get past Method, isn't he? Stealth just behind him. He was the unfortunate victim in this incident at turn one. This time though, Fitzy gets his braking spot on, gets a good exit. Hopefully he didn't go too wide there, otherwise that's going to be a penalty. Now he just has to sit there with Method. As soon as we get through turn four, we're onto the back straight, and the slipstream will help Fitzy just go breezing by, and there we go. Method fancies the inside line, so Fitzy says fair enough, I'll go around the outside. Almost side by side. Method wasn't giving it up easily, was he? And has managed to keep himself in sixth position. That was a very brave move there from Method, but good racing nevertheless. Quite a few cars coming up behind, so we're going to have a look and see what's happening there. It's Unforgiven in eighth. He's maybe looking at getting ninth again, because that seems to be where he's stuck at Watkins Glen. He seems to be light finishing ninth. He's got Derg holding ninth position at the minute and putting Unforgiven under all sorts of pressure. A great looking car though, I must admit, for Unforgiven. He's done well with that the livery on there, the laser. Derg looking at the inside of Unforgiven. Unforgiven goes a little bit wide, but pulls it back in again and shuts the door on Derg. Although has Derg got himself up the inside? No, not quite. Although he is desperately trying to find a way by Unforgiven. Now is he going to have a look as they go into turn 9? No, it is still Unforgiven. Sorry, it was turn 10, not turn 9. This is turn 11. And Derg tucked underneath the rear wing of Unforgiven. However, he's got Wadru all over the back of him as well. So now who's going to make the move at turn 1? Who's got the biggest gonads? And it looks like Derg late on the brakes into turn 1. Unforgiven carries on round the outside, stays within the track limits and keeps that P8. Derg being frustrated, just cannot get by. Wadru sitting behind Derg. He's even more frustrated. He really wanted to be further up the field than this. At this stage of the race, he doesn't want to be down in 10th with only 5 minutes to go. Now Wadru decides to have a look, just as going into the chicane. Let's have a look side by side, Wadru and Derg, but both come out of there unscathed, and Derg just ahead. But it looks like Wadru got a better exit. Now the Stealth has decided to join this party as well, with all the battling that's happening up just up ahead of him. It's enabled Stealth to catch them up, and he fancies a piece of this as well. So great racing from these guys in the M3s this week. We've had a few spills, probably more than we should have done, but that's what makes it interesting for us to watch. I'm sure the guys on the track don't want it, but we certainly do. So we're just going to quickly have a look and see what's happening up at the top with our leader, Love Rocket Rods. He's got himself a little bit of breathing space, but I wouldn't say it was a decent gap. Brian Moncani's still there, and we know that Brian is quick. So the slightest mistake from Love Rocket Rods, and Brian will be on to him. So that's 1 and 2. Fitzy has made his way up into third, so he is going to be on the podium. And he's got, 3.5 minutes. So we're possibly looking at this lap and one more after that if he wants to get himself further up the podium steps. But he will have a glass of champagne waiting for him at the end of this race if he stays where he is. Osman, though, will be looking to spoil that. He's in fourth, although he is on the medium tyres. Fitzy on the softs. So into the chicane they go for the 7th time. Scooby, he's having a much better race. He's in 5th. He's managing to stick with Osman at the minute. Neil Farmack in 6th. Then we've got Method in 7th. He's got Unforgiven chasing him down in 8th. Now Unforgiven getting a lot closer. Wadru has managed to get by Dirk and he's looking at Unforgiven now. Unforgiven goes a bit wide there, so does Dirk. Just about stayed on track though as Wadru looks to go around the outside of Unforgiven. Unforgiven is fighting him back though. He's not going to give that place up very easily, but Wadru gets it done. Fantastic racing from Wadru all the way round the outside at turn 8. A very brave move because it's very easy to spin out in that section of track, but it's paid off for him and he moves up into P8 with Unforgiven in his familiar P9 for Watkins Glen International Circuit. We have 2 minutes of this race to go. Wadru definitely on a charge. I don't think he's going to get on the podium though. I just don't think there's enough time left for him. Unforgiven 9th, Dirk 10th, Stealth 11th. I feel a little bit for Stealth. He was leading for the first few laps and then had that little coming together with Fitzy and now finds himself down in 11th, and it's a bit of a lonely race for him. You can see the scuffs and dents on that car. Brownie in 12th, Hawkeye 13th and D-Rock is 14th. So back up to our current race leader and Love Rocket Rods. Still got Brian Moncani in his rear view mirror, who in turn has got Fitzy in his mirror, although there is a bit of a gap between all of them. Love Rocket Rods really, I think, has just got to keep it on track. We are just approaching the last minute of this race, so I'm just having a look. I'm not sure whether, I think Love Rocket Rods might get another lap in. I'm not sure. We'll stick with it. Brian Moncani's still in 2nd. He'll be pleased with that. He's had a great 3rd race as Brian Moncani. Managed to, I think he managed to avoid most of the carnage in the opening few laps. And once he got himself up there, he's managed to stay there. Fitzy though, he would dearly love to take that P2 and maybe even the P1, but I just think he's going to run out of time. We've only got 30 seconds to go. So we're going to stick with Love Rocket Rods as he goes around turn 9. Brian's still there in 2nd with Fitzy. You can just see Osman in the background in 4th. Through turn 10 into turn 11. This could well be the very last lap for these guys. We've got about 4 seconds to go and it is a race to the finish line. And Love Rocket Rods across. So the first to finish is Fitzy in 3rd with Osman 4th. So Love Rocket and Brian are going to carry on. So let's have a look then. 5th is Neil Farmack. Scooby 6th. Method 7th. Wadru 8th. Unforgiven, a familiar 9th for this track. Dirk is 10th. Stealth across the line in 11th. Wow, all of those cars that close together. Fantastic racing. Brownie is going to finish in 12th with Hawkeye 13th. And D-Rock, he will come across the line in 14th. But the race is on between these two guys to see who is actually going to get P1. Love Rocket Rods is in control at the minute, but we know the slightest mistake could cost as we go around turn 6. Down the hill towards the toe at turn 7. So Love Rocket Rods just needs to keep it on the tarmac and facing the right direction. Around turn 7 it goes, up the boot. That slight incline up towards turn 8. The heel. Brian Moncani getting closer and closer, I think, but I think it may be a little bit too late for him. Still climbing up towards turn 9. Through turn 10, and I think Love Rocket Rod's has done enough. He just needs to get through turn 11 nice and easily, and the win is his. So well done to Love Rocket Rod. He managed to stay out of trouble, as did Brian, and you can see Brian is pleased with that. Second place for him, so well done to those two guys. Fantastic racing, fantastic viewing. So that was the last race before Christmas. We will be back on the 5th of January when the new Sunday season starts. I think it's the 5th. I can't, let me have a look. Do you know what? I've actually got a calendar here as well. And I can't see it because my eyes are that bad. It looks like it could be... Well, I really can't see it as well. Yeah, the 5th is a Sunday. So that's when the new Sunday season starts. So we are really looking forward to that one. Obviously, there's going to be no Wednesday racing next week because it is Christmas Day. So we will be back the following week on a Wednesday. So there is plenty to come. So I want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. A Happy New Year to you all. Please continue to watch. Please continue to hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I shall catch you all next year.